The night had fallen heavy over the empty highway, the kind that made even the brightest neon signs flicker like they were losing hope. Inside the small roadside diner, a young waitress with tired eyes but a gentle smile leaned over a plate of mashed potatoes, feeding a boy who sat quietly in his wheelchair. She didn't know the man standing near the door was watching, his leather vest soaked with the scent of the road, his face worn, his heart even more so. He stood frozen, unable to step forward, unable to speak, because the scene in front of him cracked open a place inside him he had sealed shut long ago. His son, the boy he loved more than the world, was smiling, something rare these days. And the woman who made that smile appear didn't even know she had just changed both of their lives. If you believe in kindness, in second chances, and in the beauty that still exists in this world, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Your support helps stories of hope reach more hearts. The woman's name was Rose, and though she always kept her smile warm for customers, her life was anything but easy. She worked double shifts to pay rent for a tiny apartment, slept barely enough to function, and sent whatever extra she had to her sick mother living 2 towns away. Tonight, she had been covering a coworker's shift, another long night, another weary set of footsteps across the same red tiles. But she never complained. She believed kindness never needed a reason. When the biker walked in earlier, no one paid him any mind. He looked rough, silent, the kind of man people avoided. But the truth was far gentler than the image. His name was Cole, and life had not been kind to him either. His wife had passed away suddenly, leaving him to raise their 10-year-old son, Liam, who had been left partially paralyzed from the same tragic accident that took her. The guilt lived on his shoulders like a weight he never learned to put down. And though he rode with a biker brotherhood known for helping communities, he still felt alone. Tonight, Liam had refused to eat again. He rarely ate in public because he didn't like people watching him struggle with his limited mobility. But Rose didn't treat him like a burden or like a charity case. The moment she noticed his frustration, she knelt beside him, whispered something only he could hear, and gently fed him, as if she had all the time in the world. Her patience filled the diner with a softness that Cole hadn't felt in years. He had watched silently from a few steps behind his son. He wanted to say thank you, but words felt too small. So he left a tip that was far too big for a woman who had no idea who he was and walked out into the night with a heaviness in his chest. Rose didn't even look at the tip until hours later, after cleaning tables, restocking napkins, and wiping counters with a sore wrist. When she finally counted it, the tears came silently. She needed that money for her mother's medication, and for the first time in weeks, she didn't have to choose between paying rent and helping her mother breathe a little easier. She pressed the money to her heart, whispering a thank you to the biker she assumed she would never see again. But Cole had spent the whole night thinking, remembering how the world felt so cold most days, remembering that kindness could come from the most unexpected people, remembering his wife's voice telling him that good humans still existed. And by sunrise, a decision had formed inside him. The next morning, long before the diner's sign flickered to life, Rose walked toward work. Her feet dragged, she had barely slept. She expected another regular day, another quiet shift. Maybe another moment of silent worry about the future. But she wasn't expecting them. The rumble started miles away, so low at first she thought it was thunder. Then it grew louder, deeper, until the windows of the diner trembled. The cook peeked out the door, confusion on his face. Rose froze with a coffee pot in hand. And then, one by one, like a river of steel and leather, motorcycles filled every inch of the parking lot. Not 10. Not 50. But nearly 200. They rode in with engines roaring, forming a protective circle around the small diner as if guarding something precious. At first, Rose backed away, she had never seen that many bikers in one place. But then she recognized the men who stepped forward. The same men from last night. The father of the boy in the wheelchair. Cole approached her, his eyes softer than the night before. He introduced her to his biker family, men and women who believed fiercely in repaying kindness, in standing by strangers who showed goodness without expecting anything in return. They weren't there to cause trouble. They were there for her. They sat in the diner, all 200 of them, ordering meals non-stop, tipping heavily, filling the place with laughter and warmth. For the first time since she started working there, every inch of the diner was alive. Rose's boss stared in shock, calculating a week's worth of income in just a couple of hours. And Rose, overwhelmed, emotional, trembling, could barely hold back tears. Cole explained what she had done for his son. How she treated him with dignity. How she brought light to a child who had been living in shadows. How she helped him, a father drowning in guilt, feel hope again. And it didn't stop there. The bikers helped Rose fix her old car. They raised money for her mother's treatment. They promised her that kindness deserved a thousandfold return. Rose had always given without expecting anything back. Today, the universe returned it all at once, wrapped in leather jackets, roaring engines, and hearts bigger than the open road. Later, as the sun dipped behind the horizon and the bikes formed a line to leave, Cole stayed back. He thanked her again, not with grand gestures, but with a sincerity she hadn't felt in years. He told her that people like her reminded him why the world was still worth fighting for. And for the first time in a long while, Rose felt seen, valued, and understood. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Your support keeps these emotional stories alive. Before this story ends, I want to make a special request. Tell us in the comments what act of kindness you witnessed recently. Your words might inspire someone today. In the quiet that followed, as the last motorcycle disappeared into the distance, Rose stepped outside and looked at the empty road. The wind was gentle, carrying the echo of engines and the feeling of hope reborn. She took a deep breath and smiled, knowing that one simple act of kindness had transformed not only her life, but the lives of everyone who had witnessed it. And somewhere down that endless highway, a father and son rode together, lighter, freer, and forever grateful for the waitress who fed a boy, healed a heart, and reminded an entire brotherhood of the power of simple, unspoken goodness.